Well, good evening, YouTube. This is Sean Patrick Ryan Smith, the pipe smoking specialist. It's a hot night here in Arizona, so I changed up my traditional attire. Smoking my little Luca Vanetti. I love this thing. It's really pretty. I'm planning on getting a couple more next paycheck. And I'm smoking good old Morton Cellar. And drinking a bourbon and sweet tea. Now that's good. With some good old Jim Beam bourbon. Now, the reason we're doing this tonight is because I was watching one of Bird's videos the other day, and I figured, well, it was time to tell my own little story. So this is the first of an anthology that's going to be called Tall Tales, because if you knew me in real life, I'm almost 6'7", 6'8". Yeah, I'm a very big guy. And that just seemed appropriate for what I'm about to do tonight. Tonight's little episode is going to be a tale that's actually true, and I can prove it. When I was in Uncle Sam's army, defending freedom and protecting this great country against all the villains and tyrants from our little place up there at Fort Jonathan M. Wainwright, Alaska, I had the pleasure of meeting somebody that, if you served in the army, is very special. This here, for those of you who served in the military, it'll probably be familiar to you, is a challenge coin. Only this is a very special challenge coin because it came from the 14th Sergeant Major of the Army, Raymond Chandler. It says right here, awarded by Sergeant Major Raymond F. Chandler, 14th Sergeant Major of the Army, including 3 up, 3 down, the Eagle, the 2 stars. For those of you who don't know what that is, Sergeant Major of the Army is probably the highest, no, it is actually the highest NCO rank you can achieve in the Army. And like General of the Army, there's only one guy that can have that rank at a time. But unlike General of the Army, Generals of the Army can only be appointed in times of war. Like World War II, Doug MacArthur, another famous pipe smoker, was the last General of the Army we've ever had in this great country. So, that's actually very important, to meet somebody that cool. But I'm going to tell you how I met him. It's actually kind of funny. And it involves one of these. When I was up at Fort Wainwright, we used to work at a place called Black Rapids Training Site. And the Sergeant Major of the Army was coming for his official visit. Because if you served in the military, the Sergeant Major coming is a very important visit. And the funny thing is, the way I met him was not the usual way. I was standing outside because you can't smoke in the buildings in the United States Army, and Uncle Sam frowns on smoking in the building. So I was outside smoking at a smoke spot. If you were in the military, you probably would know them by the more traditional name, the smoke point. Usually it's a red munitions can where you fire your weapon into after you've been down to the range, and you fire it into the can in order to make sure that your M4 ain't loaded or M16 ain't loaded. And I used M16s and 4s. I love Uncle Sam's Army. We're so far behind in technology, we haven't even caught up. Or an M249 saw. Those are always fun to play with, if you know what I'm talking about. I love those squad assault weapons. They're badass. Well, I was at the smoke point, and I was looking across the way, and if I can ever find a way to load it, I want to show you guys some of the cool footage I took when I was up in Alaska, and I was looking at this beautiful scenery. If you ever get a chance to go to Alaska, I know most of you are like, oh, it's too cold up there. Go during the summer at least. It's the most beautiful place in the entire world, if you ask me. And I was standing outside. I was smoking one of my Dr. Grabhouse, which I still own. And I was looking at the beautiful scenery. when I hear, I'd say, a few footsteps. And I wasn't paying attention to what was going on behind me because naturally I was enjoying the scenery. When all of a sudden I hear the footsteps stop and they're not moving anymore. So, as I'm looking at the scenery, you get that uncomfortable sensation that the footsteps stopping usually means something's going on. And for a long time, I wouldn't turn. But after about maybe a minute or two, I finally decided to go, what was going on behind me? Wipe my mouth, and I turn around. And when I turn around, I see a 3-star general, a 2-star general, the old sergeant major, the new sergeant major, the sergeant major of the Army, and the secretary of the Army. So I finally look and see all these funny people, all these great people. I know they're looking at one person. They're looking at me. I didn't take this out of my mouth. I just turn around and I look, and there they are. And all the while, I'm just looking behind myself and I see these people there. And my first reaction was, huh. You see all these guys looking right at me, it was eerie because it was like they were staring at some sort of a zoo exhibit, and it was me. And finally, the sergeant major, his name was Knight, finally goes, "You smoke pipes?" Now, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go to parade rest, which is put your hands behind your back, interlocking your thumbs together. Looks like this. And your other one behind your back. Move your feet about 6 inches apart and stand in that position until they go away. But instead, I looked right over at the sergeant major and I said, "Yes, I do." The funny thing is, the general right after that goes, "America." And I saluted him with this in my mouth. They go up the hill because they were doing some site reconnaissance of sorts and checking it out, making sure it was all done and ready to go. And they come back. Now, when they came back, I actually went back in the building because I was a DFAC cook. For those who know what that is, that's dining facility cook. And I was back in there doing my cleaning. When the sergeant major of the Army comes in and he goes, "Special Smith, come here." I thought I was in trouble. Because I was like, yeah, that was probably the bad thing to do. So I walk over, thinking I'm about to get chewed and yelled at for what I did. Turned out I was wrong. He goes, "Special Smith," he goes, "that was the funniest damn thing I ever saw in my 30 plus years in the Army." And he goes, "And more importantly, even though you didn't go to parade rest and all that," he goes, "it was still goddamn funny to get a salute from a guy while doing this." Because not since the days of MacArthur have Army guys smoked pipes. He goes, "And because of that, I'm going to give you this." So, to me, that was an important day in my life. And I thought it was funny because to get a coin from the 14th Sergeant Major of the Army for one of these just goes to prove sometimes pipe smokers have all the fun. So, basically, pipe smoking actually did some wonderful things for me. I got a coin from the Sergeant Major of the Army for doing that, and all I did was salute a 3-star and 2-star general and all that after they said America, and it was great. I mean, I felt fantastic. So, to me, that was a fun day. And a funny day because obviously, you know, my little habit here got me a coin from one of the biggest guys in the United States military. So I wanted to share that little tale with all you guys. There's more of them, trust me. I got a whole bunch of stories where somehow this factors into something fun and sometimes funny story. But I didn't want Bird to have all the fun. I mean, he's always telling good stories. They're actually cool stories. I actually quite enjoy them, but I figured it was my turn to finally step up and tell a good tale. And that's based on a true story, and I wanted to tell you guys that because, like I said, you know, I think it was Vogie was saying it the other day because I was watching his video where he left his phone number, which, Vogie, if you ever get a chance, you know, contact me. And, he was saying that pipe smokers usually are seen as cool people. Well, if you ask me, I think we are, because look in the end, I got this. We're doing this. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our little tale, and it is also the end of this episode. Like I said on the last video, I have no clue when I'm going to launch that thing. It was supposed to launch the 13th of this month. We're now going into the last day of this month. I get paid on Friday. So we're going to try to get it done by next week, but I got drill weekend coming up. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you when I'm going to have it off the ground. I got hired the day I was going to make the other video, and then I was working a lot to get trained to do my new job. So I wanted to tell you guys, I'm trying to get it off the ground, and once I do, we will have fun. Plus, I wanted to tell you guys a good tale, and like I said, this channel is still going to keep going. It's just I'm going to be doing the other channel hopefully soon. But I'm also working on the pipe smoking Fortress of Solitude, as I call it. I can't wait to show you guys all the neat stuff in this room. This is a pipe smoking bachelor paradise, and hopefully in a few months I'll actually be living in my own apartment. Then we'll really have some fun. And that's when I'm starting my next channel. It's going to be called the Pipe Smoker Show, and that ain't going to be for a while. And I'm probably going to start Pipe Smoker Show, or because I actually liked that show when it was on MTV, we're going to call it Pipe Smokers Wonder Chosen. So we're going to try to get it off the ground. And, yeah, like I said, I want to tell you guys a tale. This is the first of the anthology series. It's going to be called PSS's Tall Tales, or Great Tales of Western Civilization. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did making it tonight. And like I said, I'll be back around hopefully Friday to make the next video, and then I'll be closing out the week with Sunday, and hopefully by next Monday we'll launch the new channel. We're still going to be doing things on this room, so I'm going to give you guys a quick glimpse of the pipe smoking Fortress of Solitude, where I like to come and unwind after a hard day's slog with a good pipe and a good drink. Of course, it wouldn't hurt to have a good woman every once in a while, too. So to all you guys out there on YouTube, again, as you always know, this is Sean Patrick Ryan Smith, the Pipe Smoking Specialist, and we are now observing radio silence.